Hello, Suitors, and thank you for joining us here at AFTERBUZZ TV's coverage of Suits Season 6, Episode 8, Borrowed Time. I'm your host, Steve Kaufmann. We're going to talk about Lewis lighting the Tara the hell up. Leonard, Jessica, Jeff, Mike, all here next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, Matt. That happened.
It did.
Went into the cold open.
You totally saved it, though. Yeah, it was good.
Up.
Really.
I thought it was quite adorable.
I liked it.
All right.
Shoulders are still going.
Shoulders still going. Thank you all for joining us here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about Suits Season 6, Episode 8. I am your host, Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. This is still the law firm of Kaufmann, Hobson, Ike, and Brajer.
Hey!
But Stacey Ike is currently, I think she's taking an Innocence Project. Her and I were talking about this last week, where she really wanted to, go on Snapchat and create, really snazzy videos for all the Innocence projects.
So that's what she's working on.
Lawyers can pick them up,
on.
so she's working all day on that. In her stead, we have a replacement.
I was going to say, I'll just be the paralegal.
Well, no,
This evening.
You're an associate. You're a senior associate. You're getting your shot here.
Hey, already moving up.
You're with named partners.
Yes.
And where can the people find you on Twitter?
I feel very fortunate. I'm Erica Shannon, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
And I'm Nicole Brajer. So great to be back for the second to last episode of this summer's Suits with you guys. And you can find me at Nicole Brajer.
And we didn't steal.
And I totally got skipped, but it's cool.
No, I was bringing us back.
Yeah, bring it back. I'm Tiona Hobson. You can find me at the Tiona Hobson.
Great.
And my nose itches, so I'm gonna go like that. I'm not picking my nose. I just want everyone to know
Sure,
that.
you're not.
Great, and now we wait for them to reply.
Yeah,
Yes,
now
yes.
everyone's going to think that we've been doing crazy things before the show.
That they
It's all
will be
because we did, guys.
Speaking of
It's
crazy
all-
things, Lewis fell hard for Tara.
Yes. Wasn't it
And-
magical to see him naked in a bed?
I mean, it's been how many seasons since that?
Have we
Happy
ever
for
seen
them.
that?
I am
That was
happy
a-
for them.
I'm very happy for them, and I guess we haven't seen him do pillow talk, no, we have.
Yeah.
We've seen him do some pillow talk with someone else in this series,
Right.
but
this
this seems forever,
Right.
minus the complication, and the complication is really huge. And Stacey and I talked about this a lot last week.
Okay.
And the question was posed to all of us: would you stick with her in this hypothetical?
I have a real life
Ooh.
situation at hand,
Ooh,
ladies and gentlemen.
like right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am seeing someone that's in his shoes right now, and I am her. I am Tara, and I'm seeing someone who's in Lewis's shoes. And I am the one that wants an open relationship, and he's just wants me to himself.
Okay.
All right. So we're just gonna interview you as if you were
Go
Tara.
ahead, let's do it. I'm really ready right now, but I'm gonna. This is AFTERBUZZ, and we put it all out here
put it all
on
out there.
AFTERBUZZ
But
TV.
You see
ahead.
a future with this person, but you just don't believe in traditional relationships.
I don't think I'm very traditional in a relationship. My brother actually just got married on Friday, which is why I missed y'all last week. But it took him a while to even get there. My brother was with this girl for 10 years, and they had their on and off thing in the first couple of years with it. So I am traditional, but I do like to take it at my own pace and at my own will, if that makes any sense. And you, as a man, have to be willing to accept it or not.
But do you see that being a long-term
No,
solution?
because then eventually I do want something long term. Eventually I'm going to cut the cord and figure my shit out. But as of now, I am. And believe it or not, I was watching the last episode with him, and we just both look at each other, and he's like, I can't even deal with this right now. But to watch it and see it from the perspective that I have, especially towards the end of the episode, I felt for Lewis. But in the beginning, when she was like, hey, this is where I am, I felt for her too. So, because I'm in that same
Yeah, I
boat.
definitely feel for her because I do think that especially long distance relationships are hard.
And yes, they've been together a long time, but he lives in LA, so maybe, you know, she's not feeling the strong connection, but they still have this bond because they've been together for so long. So I totally understand her side of things and where she's coming from. If I were Lewis, though, I am not a person who can share. So I know that about me. So I know going into it, if I had been Lewis in that moment, which we all know Lewis doesn't like to share either, but he was trying to like be the bigger man here. But for me personally, I would have been like, yeah, I don't like to share. Like, I have real issues with
I brought this
that.
up last week because this is a brand new relationship problem. I mentioned this before. If I enter a relationship and there's something like that where I'm like, you're technically correct in feeling this way, but don't let that be the reason. Because mathematically, something else will be the reason. That's a terrible way to think. But because the question was posed last week, would I stick with it? And I would be like, absolutely. Because mathematically, I'd find something else that was wrong that had nothing to do with this.
That had nothing.
No, I do agree with you, Steve. I think in the beginning, at least, I would stick with it just to see if it does blossom into something.
If it's worth the headache.
And I think earlier in the episode, Lewis was trying to stay cool about it, and then even when they met for the date, like he had an extra button undone, and I was like, "Whoa, look at this, Lewis!"
Wow, that's a good
No, I like that. I caught
point
that too.
out.
Yeah, so he was trying to be a little more loosey goosey, if that's a good.
Loose Lewis is
Yeah.
3-button Lewis.
Yeah, and then by the end, when he flips out on the
maitre d'.
yeah.
The hipster maitre d'. Well casted.
I felt so bad, and I was so embarrassed for her watching in the background. But I will say it takes a certain kind of personality to be able to deal with something like that. In her defense, though, like, I mean, and both his and hers, I guess, he fell madly in love with her, love at first sight. She felt something for him after him opening up. And the more that I feel he actually opens up and allows himself to be in this relationship like Donna was telling him to, I think the more she'll be willing to cut the cord with this other guy.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna happen though when he comes to town? Or do you think
I
she's
think
gonna
she'll
see where it's gonna
maybe
go?
she'll see him. But then I feel like that's her. I don't know. I feel like it's unfair for him not to let her.
I think he has a chance to screw this all up.
I was
Because
but as
the
he
guy-
always does.
coming to
Because the
town.
guy's coming to town right now, to a point that I could see her like backing off of like, I see that you're really into me. And like he's into her like way more than he should be at this stage of the relationship. That there's a level that she might see that through his need to like want her exclusively.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say that with him coming to town, what's his name? Not Mitchell, whatever his name is.
Mitchell's Donna's.
Mitchell's
I don't know
Donna's
if we
boyfriend.
got his name.
I just wrote boyfriend.
With what's his face coming into town.
Yeah.
I just see this as the perfect opportunity for Lewis to screw up this whole relationship before it even gets started.
That would be
I don't want that to happen, but I could see him showing up at their dinner or when they meet up and trying to spy but getting caught, and her being, Lewis, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah. I could also see him monologuing pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? I think this is what love is.
Yeah.
And it's not you, buddy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, just calling back a couple seasons ago, do you think he loves her, what is her name? I forgot.
Tara.
Tara more than he loves Sheila? Because it seems
I
like
think he could potentially
now.
love the
Here.
Now.
with Tara.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think he's a little over Sheila for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
Assy Queen Borhan says she's not sure, or she, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure on Tara, but started to like her. And I agree with that because there was a point where I was like, is she just like with him because she's likes how he makes her feel? Like, is there anything that is she putting it all out there? Like, hey, there's this other guy. And
No, I
this is what
think
it
she
is.
would have only put it all out there if she actually felt. She actually felt there was something there. So I
Right.
think there's.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about Lewis and Tara because I'm very unsure.
I don't know how to feel because it's still so early.
And
in
exactly.
this, and Lewis is coming out guns blazing and with a
Right.
lot of feelings, and when guys do that to me, again, this is just Tiona talking, that's when I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes.
Right.
You're saying you're telling me what you love about me and it's been 2 days. Back the F up.
Sometimes
a little bit.
dudes are kind of gunslingers with their feels.
Yeah.
Is it like a biological clock kind of thing?
For Lewis?
Yeah, because with Sheila, he was
mean,
talking
he
about
just-
having kids, so...
But like he can be 90 and have a kid still. Guys
that's
have it
true.
so easy.
Yeah.
But
Well, sometimes guys,
Steve.
like when they see what
Sorry.
they want it.
Yeah.
And they've got to have
Yeah.
it. And that to me sometimes is a turn on. Like I think that's sexy when a guy really if he wants you and he's like, I have to. I don't, that's why remember when we were watching about the Hamptons house and I went on, you and Stacey went, nah, absolutely not. So, to each her own about feels,
Yes.
every girl's different. I want him to be in a relationship, and I can tell I don't know how this is going to play out. I really don't.
It's his.
I don't want him to screw it up.
It's Lewis's to screw up right now, and there's a real high chance he's going to screw it up.
Because he hasn't screwed anything up really in this season. Or this,
Yeah,
this
he's kind
season.
of been.
Pretty good.
It's just like work-wise, he's kind of been pretty good.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's very good in the bedroom.
Yes.
When
Which-
he's passionate about
don't-
something.
I don't need to know.
Well, they told you. Yeah, we know this now.
Lewis is a stallion.
I
in
couldn't
bed.
believe it.
It's always the ones you don't expect.
I was going
though.
to say, yeah, he probably puts in a lot of work. Probably works really hard.
So what's the verdict on this? Do we believe in them or?
I believe in them. I think they're like destined to each other, but that doesn't always mean like tomorrow.
Exactly.
If she's seeing someone else and he's super jelly about it, it might not work. I'm talking really millennial today.
Yeah. Remember, I
jelly.
loved his line. What do you mean? It's 2016. It's fine. I got this. That killed me.
He tried.
Let's move away from the bedroom and into death row.
Okay.
It's the easiest.
What a
Yeah,
good
that was
segue,
the
easiest
Steven.
transition to make.
Go from making life to ending life.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
So Rachel and Jessica took on the Innocence Project case of Leonard. They were looking for Maria Gomez. I nailed that. If I don't write it on the board, I'm really happy when I remember it still. They were looking for Maria Gomez. Find out she's dead.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I think we just
did.
thought we didn't.
You did? I wonder if anyone predicted that
No,
out loud, though.
no, I didn't. Well, because they laid a lot.
That
on
was
us.
right there in front of us,
I
guys.
know that was a pretty easy one.
It's like, come on, it can't just find her. I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna find her, and she was still gonna be a drug addict.
But
and
like based
then-
on the length of the case and her being a drug addict, how did we not think like, wow,
was-
there could be a possibility that she's dead.
But hey, maybe she had cleaned up her life and she was clean and sober, and she died of breast cancer 3 years ago. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We
I don't know
shouldn't-
why
we
I
shouldn't.
decided to give her
Let's just
breast
say
cancer,
that.
but
Well, we were
That's-
talking about
it's-
boobs
yeah.
earlier before we started rolling.
In my mind, that's exactly what happened to Maria Gomez.
were you gonna call her Maria Menounos? Maria Gomez.
Hey, Marie.
One of the two.
They can, if Leonard's next of kin needs extra time to essentially get better, they can have her sign off on something. And then they can extend his execution until she can get better to actually witness it.
Yeah.
I believe it's his aunt who
Yes.
raised him.
Yes.
Who's-
Aunt Harriet.
Aunt Harriet, whose opinion he values above all.
Yeah, this
He-
is the woman who raised him.
Yeah,
so-
like he was like, this woman wants nothing to do with me. And they say, they pitch it to him as, we can convince her that there's something to be looked at in this case. And then Jessica goes off to do Jessica stuff. Rachel shows up
over
at the
there.
doorstep by herself. Has the aunt say, you know what, I'm pretty sure he killed this guy, but if I sign this, I'll give you a chance to prove me wrong. Mm-hmm. Which Leonard does not like.
Yeah, because I mean,
He has given up. He knows he's going to die. He would like to die on this earth with dignity and with the woman who raised him, at least thinking he died an honorable person.
yeah, I couldn't imagine to have my mom not want anything to do with me and not be there for me, because as corny as it sounds, I call my mom for everything. So if that were the case, to be in his shoes and have that person, the one person who should be fighting for you and believing in you, just completely like, no, you did it, you're a murderer, you were a bad seed thing, you're a bad seed now, that's gotta hurt. And that would kind of kill your will to fight more if
Yeah.
that person in your life wasn't your biggest cheerleader right now.
I missed the part where he's actually gonna die.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like
That
last
he-
week
That was
when they said you have 30
well,
days.
that was last week. Well,
Yeah,
that was 2
yeah.
weeks ago where he had an execution date.
Right,
Last
right.
week it was you have 5 days to find Maria Gomez.
Oh, or else.
I was gonna say Maria
nothing.
Gomez both times. I swear to God.
Wasn't the signature on the document to?
No, that
He
was
got an
extend
extra
it.
30 days because his aunt has MS, and
Yeah.
so they said that she's not able to travel to his execution.
Right. And then.
So now he has 60 days before he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't Rachel say she found something to get him?
No.
No?
Well, we
what
don't know
did
what
I
it is.
miss?
Well, no, she
that was
said
at the
she
end.
said that, but
no,
we don't
she
know what
said-
it is
that was
yet.
at
She
the
said
end.
she has something, but she obviously needs to work on it.
Right.
So
So.
at this point, he has an execution date
Okay,
set. So
because you were
everyone thinks
just
he's
but
dying.
Steve, you were just saying like he's gonna die, and I'm
Well,
like, wait,
that's
is he?
because- No, he
Because
has.
as of right now, he is
Because
going
he
to
has,
die.
Right.
he has an execution
I
date.
don't want him to.
And they only have, presumably, they only have 3 more days to actually reopen his case.
Well, I think
And I've been outspoken on my predictions about Leonard for about 3 weeks now that he's not going to make it.
okay, because right now, can we link this somehow with Jessica and Jeff, or is this a separate subject?
Jessica Jeff's a separate subject.
It's separate. Okay, because there was something I wanted to say relative to his case after seeing Jeff. Like I thought maybe like she put her heart light on and we'll find a way to get this man not executed. Did anyone else think that?
No, I thought.
Heart light on.
Well, I thought. I certainly agree that to a certain extent Jessica was involved in this case, at least very initially, because she needed good press.
Me
But
too.
I think she's
Me
not
too.
a monster, and I think there was the not a monster part that was showing up and being more or less a rock for Rachel. Whereas I think Jeff did ignite a full-on heart light for Jessica.
Right.
Of like, oh yeah, like I'm a person. I'm a person. He's a person. I should really stand up for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then that's not to say she wasn't.
Right.
But let's jump into Jeff. Do we have anything else about Leonard? I think we.
I was just gonna echo what you were saying, Steve, about Jessica being somewhat cold, kind of to Leonard, and it would just made me wonder because you had 2 elements in that room. You had Rachel as like the law student, very eager, trying her hardest, putting everything she has into it, and then you have Jessica, who's experienced, seasoned, has been through it, and she's left her heart out of it a little bit. And so I thought it was an interesting dynamic between the 2 of them. And even when at the office, when Jessica and Rachel were talking, I don't know if it was the angle of the shot, but Rachel looked significantly shorter than Jessica. And I don't know if they did that intentionally to make Rachel look like childlike in the fact that she's so eagerly going after and trying to help
Yeah.
Leonard as much as she can.
Another good example of that was the card, giving her the card saying, "This is my guy," and she's like, "Why can't I use it?" And it's like, "Cause I earned
That's
that
how
guy. This is the only time you get to use my guy." You
You
know.
get to use my guy. You get your own guy.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. People in the chat, Forever Love says that Jessica got to lead in a new show, so maybe Suits will fade her out, and that's why they brought Jeff back.
Wow.
We need to get on
Yeah, because
Google.
it was so random how he just showed up.
I was happy about it, and,
It was-
and so is majority of the chat.
It was random in placement, but like it was like if you look at the whole arc, he was due to come back.
Yeah.
Because they didn't leave stuff on like a "we'll never talk again" kind of a basis. That like they were gonna speak again. They're both lawyers in New York
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
And he's on a lead on another show now, so it's kind
Wouldn't
of like
immediately
you had to come
affect
in
him.
and
May I? May I?
May I?
About Jessica?
Please.
Okay, Gina.
Is this news and gossip?
Yes. Can we get a little news and gossip? No? All right. They're like, do that at the end. Well, but we're on it right now.
Yeah.
Looks like Gina Torres may soon join, what's it called? ABC in a pilot called The Death of Eva Sofia Valdez. And it could possibly affect her.
Is it a
Roll on
pilot?
Suits.
Is it a pilot? It's not a fall pilot coming out in a couple weeks. It's one they're shooting now for the spring.
I can't answer that right away.
That seems correct.
But
We will go with that.
it's saying that it's a possibility in this one particular arc, and that's TV Line.
Got it.
But hey,
Great.
good to know. Thank
Yeah,
you
good
so
for
much
her.
from the chat.
Good for her. I don't think they're going to necessarily lose her. And the beauty of Jessica, instead of a lot of the other characters, is she's so in the background that she could literally be senior partner and you wouldn't see her for 3 weeks.
This is very. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go
Oh, no,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, and the way that they shoot this show makes it very open for the actors to go do other shows that shoot in off schedules. Like, they shot all summer. Most shows are not shooting in the summer. They're waiting till now to start filming, and these actors are now off now, so she can definitely do both two shows. And
Teodros Mashaw said, I just looked it up. It says she only had a 6-season contract for Suits.
Oh. Teodros Mashaw in the chat says 6-season contract.
Well, I mean,
That
everyone
adds
in
a
the cast probably had a 6-season contract, and season 7 is probably
Do you just not want Jessica to go?
No, I'm just saying that there's still a way that she's still gonna be here. It doesn't necessarily mean she's going just because.
What to like throw for a loop though for the audience, like to watch for and like for viewers that have watched this show forever, for her to leave her firm, which she says she'll never leave.
That would be interesting. Would she? That borders on a prediction. We're going to talk about Jessica and Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff came back.
Jeff is back
And sexy.
Yay!
Okay.
I think so.
It's okay. You can say sexy.
I don't-
You can say he's a handsome man.
I
sexy.
don't see people that way.
Oh,
I don't.
Would you say that he looks good in his suit and he's a polished, cleaned up man?
I feel his journey. I feel his journey leads him to identify however he's comfortable. And if that happens to be his journey and his self-identification, I agree. I actually apologize for saying his.
because you don't know what he identifies as.
Okay.
So
That's
Whoa.
him and his
It's
journey.
2016.
calm down.
If I'm gonna speak millennial this whole show, I'll speak millennial this whole show.
Oh
No,
man.
I was really happy to see Jeff back because I think that in order for Jessica to move forward with new relationships, she needed to have the closure with Jeff first.
Right. Which they didn't really have.
They really didn't have.
I mean, they kind of had it a little bit.
It
Was like a nice conversation, and then when she went
He was
back and he
upset.
was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna take this job. One of those things where he told her it's always gonna be the firm, and so she's like, okay, I can stop pretending like one day I'm gonna pick up the phone and call Jeff.
yeah,
Because
but that was
I'm not.
But that was an important realization for her to make, especially now that the firm, like episode 1 of this season, she had a really good out. She had an incredible out to just be like, you know what, it's me and Jeff. It's me and Jeff. I'm like riding the coattails of his career.
Yeah.
I can just, if that's what I want. Whereas, regardless of what's up inside of her, that's what she wants. She knows that what she wants is actually to be in charge of one of the biggest, baddest law firms in New York.
And this is her child. She's given everything to this firm and this company. So how could she just walk away? You can't just walk away from your child. She's given up her opportunities of love and happiness and baby so many times in the past for this place that for her to walk away at this point would be, what was it all for?
She'd walk away for Stu.
For Stu.
I was wondering, I'm like,
Yes.
what's going on with that?
That was great.
That's why I said she
Where'd he
needed
go?
closure in order to move on with other
I really
people.
enjoyed the relationships of this episode, like the mending of relationships, the resurfacing of relationships, you know, the drama. I just thought it was great. We had a couple, you know, to definitely talk about.
Everyone
so
in the chat's
excited.
talking about how Jessica can't possibly leave.
All right, then
We
she's
threw
not
a little
going.
bit out there, and that's just
Yeah,
like, no,
she really makes the show.
never. We got
I
to
mean,
talk some people off the ledge in our chat.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here to be your voice of reason. She can still do both. They probably haven't even finished her contract for season 7 yet. We'll hear about it soon. Don't worry.
Everyone take a
Hashtag
nice.
Tiana's not worried. Hashtag her new show. You never know. It's a new show. It could air for 3 episodes and get canceled, and then she has walked away from this. Always keep a backup plan, y'all.
Hashtag her journey.
Hashtag her journey. Hashtag her story. What? Hashtag drop the mic.
Yeah.
Don't drop it.
Just take the AFTERBUZZ mic, throw it down on the
We're
ground.
talking about contracts. Contracts are a deal. Mike had a deal.
Right.
And Cahill took it. Well, Cahill's superiors took it away. Because to be fair, Mike did not do a whole lot
He
to.
didn't do anything.
Like, he worked on Kevin a little.
He did, but that didn't lead to what he was supposed to get. Harvey then got the witness to push his way over there, but it still wasn't enough.
I agree with those superiors. That said, do we believe Cahill when he said he pushed all he could to get Mike out of prison?
I actually do believe Cahill this time.
Me too, because of this case. I think this case is like a real heart button.
Yeah.
A heartstring case for Cahill, that he's like genuinely like, no, I feel for you. And I think also Cahill's seen Mike in action long enough that he has the realization most characters in this show have.
Yeah.
Which is like, you're a lawyer. I'm tired of talking about it. You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
And think of everything that Harvey has literally handed to Cahill to stall his own case and everything. So even if Mike wasn't the person to do the work, Cahill has seen how hard Harvey has worked to live up to the deal, that I think he wouldn't have double-crossed them, and that it really came down to, if he's going to tell his superiors, we need to stick with this, then he would have had to come clean about all the things him and Harvey did, because how else is he going to explain to them how he got that stuff?
Yeah, so he had to push and then eventually back off.
Yeah. For everyone's
But Mike has a new deal. In the middle of this episode, some of this got a little convoluted.
Right.
Because Harvey is representing Kevin. Harvey is also representing Sutton. Harvey is also representing Mike, who could conceivably represent himself.
And Gallo.
And representing Gallo. Gallo is threatening Mike's life in prison if Harvey doesn't get Gallo a parole hearing. Gallo also threatens Mike's life outside of prison.
Yes.
Because he's kind of a bad like, Gallo's a pretty bad dude.
He's the bad guy.
That, like, Harvey would need to...
But he's a really smart guy, too. Gallo.
Yes, I will agree with that.
If he were smart, he would know not to mess with Mike and Harvey, but...
Well, because
he's a relatively smart
he's
guy.
smart enough to know that Harvey hasn't started his case, and Harvey's whole plan was to get Mike out and then not do anything with Gallo's case at all.
Yes.
Gallo now threatening Mike outside of it is being, hey, I'm making sure that you guys can't screw me over in this thing, which I wasn't even thinking. I was like, man, he is
He's
smart.
a snake.
Or, he's just a criminal. And
I was going to say, it seemed like to me, yes, Gallo's smart, but he was smart enough to not go against Harvey. He didn't know Mike. And so he in the beginning, he was trying to mess with Mike all he could. And now he's starting to realize how smart Mike is, how well he knows his stuff. And now he's learning not to mess with either of them. So he's trying to do what he can now to encourage Mike and Harvey to follow through.
A certain game respect game we got a couple weeks ago where Gallo is like, no, Mike's all right. But I'm going to mess with him to get the Harvey. Like, it was always to mess with Mike to get the Harvey.
Right. Forever Love, real quick, on the chat says, how is Mike representing Kevin's wife, though? It's confusing. I agree.
Define represent.
He just handed a document over.
He wrote a document for her.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a member of the bar to write a document.
Right. You can write a legal document anytime, any place.
I've written 5 legal documents while we've been doing this panel.
Oh, wow. Really good. I was going to say,
the keyboard all the way over here.
Yeah, my dad went to law school, but he never did the bar. But he can still handle legal things for us. And everything.
And that's...
Because we trust him because he knows the law clearly, but...
Yeah. And then that's helpful for Mike, too, that I like that Mike made his own deal. That he literally jumped in, was just... I wrote this.
Screw everyone.
Yeah.
I wrote this, and on page 3 of this that I wrote, not on toilet paper, in spite of being in prison, I wrote this. And on page 3, it's all about, like, and Mike gets out of prison.
Well, does he?
I mean, we have 2 more weeks. He probably, there's a lot of, the deal actually has to get signed.
Yes, which is why I was very annoyed at the end of this episode that everyone's like, let's go get a drink. Oh, he's getting out. Let me make a phone call. La, 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 la. I'm like, why are we throwing a parade already?
Not until the fat lady sings do you
Exactly. In the
celebrate.
cell, door wide open, on the phone, just chilling.
Well, first up, yes, that's stupid.
And he sat in the bathroom the time before that to call Donna.
They always jump the gun.
That one was a little more covert because he was quiet. He was crouched.
Also, he should not have called Rachel.
No.
Dude, manage your expectations, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing's over till it's over. Don't call anybody. Don't talk to anybody.
Don't they know
Just
that?
show up.
Just
Don't they
literally
how
just
do they
show
not
up.
Knock on the door.
You know
Be like,
why
hey.
they do that, though? Because they always think they're going to come out on top, and they always jump the gun, and then they always get that last-minute crunch time, and then we're all on the
humans
edge
do
of our
that, and I
seats.
understand that, but you'd think if they went through this enough, they'd or at least Mike would call Harvey and Donna and just be like, can you just not tell anybody I'm getting out of prison?
Yeah, because
By
it
the way, I'm
always...
hiding under a bed with a cell phone.
Or double check that this is legit.
Right.
Well,
Well,
Just
before I even
wait
get
for
to
it
that
to
point.
actually
he,
go
Yeah.
through.
yeah, he wrote it. He knows it's legit. It's a matter of it actually going through.
No, I mean like Cahill actually signing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you know that Sutton, whatever his William,
Sutter.
he is mad at his daughter. There could be something that he tries to flip on her all of a sudden. You never know what,
He
because
tries to
it's all about.
He tries to prove the collusion to the judge.
Yeah, with what Harvey did. Like, there's so many
Cahill
things
feels
that could go
slighted
wrong.
about what Harvey did this whole week, which I kind of lumped it into this topic, but I love this Cahill Harvey kind of a face-off because they've been having a fake trial up until this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it really
But that's
came.
why I'm really nervous about next week's episode. I'm like, really, is the evil side going to come back out of him, or will it end with like a nice breath? Oh, good.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
It's too early for
yeah.
Mike to get out of jail.
I agree. I think we need to talk a little more about the case before we jump into next week.
That's fine.
Yo, could you imagine if you heard a recording of your dad being like, yeah, that's cool. Send her to jail for 5 years. She's
I was
young.
thinking about
she
it.
can get out and still be able to play tennis. No. The way my parents think is I will go to jail because I've already lived my life.
No, that's
so
apparent.
5 years of not being around is fine.
Yeah.
He's not even thinking about the fact that his grandchildren won't have a mom or a dad right now. Is he going to raise them? I wouldn't want my kids in his custody. That made me really angry.
No,
Sorry.
that's
Made me,
it's
yeah, it made me mad
disappointing.
too. Thank God that Harvey's Harvey, because that,
Yeah.
when that cell phone like went into the next shot, I was like, oh,
I was like,
genius.
Yes.
I knew it. Genius.
Harvey.
But I didn't even picture Harvey sitting there. You know what I forget what I was picturing. I don't know what, but
I was
forget.
picturing like they were using Kevin's illegal cell phone, and that they had called, and so they were live listening in. But then in my head, I was like, "Well, Donna didn't tell her to go till tomorrow, and
Yes,
it's
yes, yes,
nighttime.
yes, yes,
So
that's what I was
how'd the
thinking.
continuity work here?
That's what I was thinking. That's
Also,
exactly.
Mike calls Donna's desk at least 7 p.m. and Donna's there because she's Donna.
She's
Yeah,
the shit.
because she knows.
7 p.m. Probably been there since 8 a.m. Looking flawless, girl.
She knows it's coming.
I love her. It's so
ready to-
funny how she looks like the wife, Jill. They look
Little
alike
bit.
a little
And
bit.
they called out to that too.
Yeah.
That's like us
Us
redheads.
redheads
Yeah.
gotta stick
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
But about the phone recording, I did like how for the whole episode, starting at the beginning, Harvey was asking William questions, even though he already knew the answers. But he was asking him, trying to extract the information from William's mouth, to the point when they were in the office and he was recording him. I was like, oh, he's doing that intentionally because, and then it went to
Yeah.
the cell phone. But I like how they played it at the beginning of the episode where he's like constantly asking these questions, and it doesn't seem like he's prodding
Yeah.
in a way that's unnatural. It's like what a lawyer would do.
And
Yeah.
we've seen Harvey not talking to Sutter enough this whole time that it makes sense that it's like he's actually game planning now.
Yeah.
But he's Harvey. Harvey Specter don't go to trial.
Yeah.
Harvey
Pretty
Specter.
good at that.
Harvey Specter almost went to trial that one time, and then Mike wound up in jail, prison. Mike was already in jail. He wound up in prison.
Yep.
It was bad.
Harvey has just been trying so hard. And you can tell, like, I think the great part of his acting is his anxiety, like, that we learned he had. Was that last season?
It was
Yeah, that you can feel it sometimes. Like, I get anxiety, and I was saying it when we were watching the show, and I'm like, I have anxiety, and all I want to do is eat pizza, like a burger, because it just makes me, I think that's one of the best parts about this show, like the emotion, and how, like, even like with Lewis, you kind of cringe and you get like really like weirded out by him, and then with Donna, like, you kind of like, I'm sure like boys get a little warm in their pants, and the girls are like, yeah, I want to be like that, you know? Like, I just love the emotions that these characters and these actors
Do
give
your
us.
pants get warm when you look at Donna?
not. My pants don't describe. My pants don't self-describe as any particular temperature. But hashtag my pants is journey.
This journey thing is amazing.
Journey of my pants. I think we're talking about my pants. It's probably time for predictions.
What? Pants and predictions. And the pleats of the pants are distracting.
Yes, on predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, I have a couple questions for the whole panel before we get to predictions at large.
Fun. I love
I'll
that.
start here. I'll start at the big one. Do we think Mike gets out this season? Do we think 2 weeks from now we're sitting here talking about how Mike got out of prison?
I've been saying no every week when you ask this, and I'm sticking with my gut and saying no, even though the previews want me to have thinking otherwise. No.
I'm gonna say yes, just to go against the grain.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say no. He's going to be in jail.
I'm going to say yes, but not because of the Cahill deal.
Overcrowding.
Oh.
Possibly overcrowding.
It's always
behavior.
overcrowding.
Something like that.
Okay.
But like I see something like that or something completely different.
See, the reason I don't believe he's getting out is because they said too many times tonight that you're getting out, and haven't even left to say, like, I'm going to let you celebrate the fact that
no.
you're getting out, and I'm not.
You don't let him out in episode 8 if you have
Yeah.
10 if you have 10 episodes. Like there's more bumps in the road. I think he'll get out for something completely different, kind of out of left field. Do we think Leonard dies?
I was thinking he died up until tonight. Now I think that he lives to see another day, and that because Jessica keeps saying it's not her job to reunite him with his aunt, so I feel like now that we know of someone out there who he's related to, who there's like a connection with, now I'm like, okay, there's something or someone out there for him to live for now. So now I kind of think that he's gonna live.
I think he's gonna live. I think Jessica's gonna turn on
Yeah.
the Pearson.
Yes, I think he's going to live too. I agree. Up to this episode, I remember my last prediction before last week was that I thought he was going to die as a way to like
Help Rachel
out and whatever. So yeah, now I don't think so.
I think he lives. Mike stays in jail.
I stick with he dies.
Okay.
I'm the murderer of the panel. I think he's going to die. I think he's going to die, but I think his aunt is ultimately going to see him as a human being and like.
Right.
I could see it going that way too.
Yeah, I could see it going that way. That
too.
he gained closure, and then the state kills him.
Oh gosh, that'd be so.
But then everyone.
sad we don't
I've
really
said this
experience
before.
these things on Suits.
Everyone in the show, through his death, needs to learn to like literally deal.
Yes.
Like literally learn how to accept loss and move on. Lewis and Tara, do they stay together?
That's a hard one.
I think that's still too soon.
Are
to
they
call.
even together right
don't-
now?
Yeah.
So
Well, somebody check their Facebook.
Well, as
With Pete, it's complicated with this dude.
they have a
Lewis is, like,
date set
married.
up, right? They have a date set up.
Yeah,
So
But her boyfriend's coming into town.
Yeah.
I think not now, but season 7.
she'll
I think he's gonna
resurface.
show like I think they're right for each other, but like it'll just be kind of a passing ships thing of like you're way too into me way too fast, and I'm caught up in a whole other mess that I don't want to involve you in.
That's a lot of baggage to come
Like-
with, 3-year relationship.
But I can see her literally just like kind of self-selecting out of all of it. Of just like I don't want to involve you in this, and you shouldn't want to be involved in this right now.
That's true.
If it falls apart in like a year, I'll come to you.
Why can't Lewis ever catch a break?
He had that one night.
He did have.
He had that one.
He had that one night where
But
he got
maybe
to
she'll
take Tara home.
come crawling back for
Didn't
more.
even have to buy her dinner.
Just going back to the Leonard thing real quick.
Please.
Okay.
Here's what I can't decide what I want more, and both of these scenarios make me sound like a terrible person, especially towards Rachel. I don't know if I want Rachel to win her case and save the man from death row, but then still have to deal with the fact that like, oh my gosh, I'm devastated now. Mike's still stuck in prison, and like maybe even gets more time put on for something that goes like absolute haywire. Or if I want her to get Mike back, but then be devastated that a person she was defending is now dead, and it's her fault in a way.
Well,
But it's not her fault, but like she's gonna feel like it's her fault that she couldn't save him.
But
and
she's
both of those
gonna-
make her like, for poor Rachel, it makes me sound like a total bitch. Like,
You want
like, I want Rachel to suffer.
Dude, clearly.
no, but I like that. I like no, but
It's like it's gonna be one of the other. She can't have both.
no. She's going to learn
That's good.
that
That's
you
a good
can't
prediction.
save everyone. You can't win every case.
Yeah.
And you need to accept that moving forward. Like I think that's an incredible life lesson that everyone eventually needs to learn, including people who watch Suits.
But either way,
And
she's
think
gonna
that
end
Harvey-
up happy and sad because
Because like
I feel like you can't have both ways.
they have to give us like a life lesson in the end of this season. Everything can't be all rainbows and ponies and they win every time, which we found out from last season when Mike went to jail. He was about to quit. We thought everything was going to be great, and I think we got to end on that kind of note again this season. It's kind of
do we have any
depressing.
predictions at large?
Other than the questions you asked.
Someone said something earlier about Cahill doing because that preview made me think that Cahill was going to do something to flip
Actually, yeah,
on
I
Mike
think,
again.
I think Cahill's gonna go after Harvey for what Harvey did to him this week, and like play unfair on top of unfair, and like because Cahill has to accept the deal to stop the case.
Yeah.
So if Cahill doesn't stop the deal or doesn't accept the deal, the case can still happen. And if Harvey has to fight for Sutter, he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And that's well known and well documented. So I can see that being a bump in the road until we ultimately get into. Actually, that's a good question. Sutter goes away forever. I think we want him to go away forever.
Yes.
He deserves it. My gosh, this is ridiculous. Like, and I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take that back. Harvey always comes out on top, and I don't think it's Harvey's defending him, but wasn't the deal that he goes away for 3 years? Is it Sutter?
Sutter, no, the
goes
deal.
away.
No, the deal would be that she rolls over on Sutter,
Yeah.
and then he goes away for a long time. Whereas,
But Harvey cut him a deal.
yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Harvey cut him a deal. And it
That's
would
what I
be
was-
3 years, and it'd be the best he could do.
And that's good. Like, that's not long at all.
If Sutter takes it, I don't know. We have more show to happen.
That's so long.
We've more show to
So
happen.
now
There's
the
no
new
way
show
he-
is Sutter's in the same prison as Mike, Gallo, and
Oh,
Kevin.
Lord.
That would be awesome.
Sutter and Kevin, you probably find him in the bathroom and just.
Wow.
They have two different gangs. Sutter and Gallo are together, and then it's Kevin and Mike still, and they're making shanks out of toothbrushes.
Because Mike doesn't get out of prison.
Yeah, because Mike is still in
But if
prison.
Mike did get out of prison, then he could help, like, Kevin get out of prison.
He could. But guys, what about Gallo?
Fuck.
What's-
Ooh, sorry.
Whoa.
I'm about to say screw Gallo. Sorry. I just don't like him.
But he's
Imagine if
is
they
he gonna be out of jail
before Mike.
for Mike?
I don't
Boom.
know.
I don't know.
I think Mike gets out of jail, just not for this. I think Leonard dies because everyone needs to learn from a person just willingly accepting death and accepting change and accepting loss. Same with Lois and Tara. I think we're gonna be really sad in 2 weeks.
Really quickly,
My predictions.
really quickly, if Leonard dies, what is that going to do to Rachel's career?
Nothing.
Okay.
I mean,
It's
she's still
the
in law
Innocence
school.
She's still in law school. It was an Innocence Project. He was already on death row. She never got the case reopened, so you'd have to dig pretty far to even see it.
She's fighting a losing battle right now because he's already lost. So now she's just trying to like dig out of the trenches to find.
So,
some
like,
hope.
I could just see her taking all of that.
Oh, she's
in
gonna
and,
definitely make it
hiding
about
it
her.
She's gonna
covers.
internalize
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, she's gonna make it about her.
But-
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's not
I
about
was
you.
supposed to say there's a hostility.
It's not about
Yeah.
you, Rachel. There's a
Alright.
man who's about to die.
Also, this panel has been accused of hostility towards Rachel
Yeah.
from time to time.
from YouTube fans. I like Rachel. I think she has a good heart.
I do too.
I think we're good. I think we covered everything here in this 60-minute briefing. In the meantime,
I feel like I got a lot of my feelings out. Thank you guys for letting me vent to you
Thank you,
about
guys.
my
This was good.
frustrations.
if people want to vent their feelings to you, Tiona, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Steve Kaufmann if you need me. You can find me at the Tiona Hobson. And I hope that you're nice.
I was so glad to be back. Again, I'm Erica Shannon, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
And you can find me at Nicole Brajer. Please watch Fashion Police on E because I produce on the show, and it would mean so much to me if you watched our New York Fashion Week episode next Monday.
And I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. I do some live comedy around Los Angeles. I tweet about it fairly regularly. Thank you and good night.
Good night, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.